Yep. Good evening, everyone. So last session, I just given you overview about the data types in JavaScript. So JavaScript non-primitive types. In that non-primitive types, we learned about what is we have an array type. Another one we discussed about object type. So array and object, how they work. One simple example I showed you, because these all generally you will learn in JavaScript also. Here some new things, advanced, what you need to know, we are discussing. Now, what is a issue with object? So many issues are there. So what are the problems with object? Actually, issues with object. To overcome this issue, you will see symbol. How do we use that? What is the main issue with JavaScript object is object. It is a key and a value collection. So JavaScript object is a key and value collection, but problem is key must be only string type. Key must be only string type. It cannot be any another type. You can have only string type keys. Another important is, that means actually this is an object. We are defining key. Key must be string type, and the value you can keep any type. Value can be any type. So in an object, the key must be compulsory string type. Other types not allowed. Another important problem here is object is it is generally slow in access. Why object is slow in access is because why it is slow in access? Because you need explicit iterators to read the keys and values. In order to read the keys and the values from an object, you need explicit iterators. Explicit means, yesterday you saw array have an implicit iterator called map. Array have an implicit iterator called find. Array have an implicit iterator called filter. But here you need an explicit iterator. Explicit iterator means you have to use for in, you have to use for off, like iterators to read the keys and values. If you use explicit iterators, then automatically the process will be slow, because implicit functions are faster when compared to explicit. So in majority of React interviews, you can find this question. What are the problems with object? What is difference between object and map? Very regularly asked point that is, I will tell you that. So object issue is, object is a key value collection, and it is slow in access. Keys must be always string type. Why it is slow in access? Because it need explicit iterators. Another important is, so it requires explicit operators to manipulate. It requires explicit operators to manipulate. Explicit operators means, if I want to delete any property from an object, then for that we have to use a separate operator called delete operator, which is not an operator, which is not a member of object. It is a separate operator. By using that operator, we have to delete any property. If you want to find any property available or not, we have to use a separate operator called in. In is an operator to find whether property available or not. Property available or not. For example, I will show you. Let's see. We will open our project. In this project, I will just show you the basic. Here we have, yeah. In this, we are using, let's say I am creating a object. How to create an object where product is equal to a block. So it represents an object. In this object, we have name. Name is a property. The property contains some TV. And we have comma, price. Price is another property, means another key. And its value is something like this. Now we want to print these two details. Then document.write. I will use name is equal to product.name. And in the next line, price is equal to product.price. We are using name and price. Now you can see here, this is printing the name and price. Now suppose I want to delete price. From an object, I want to remove one key. Then how do we remove this price from that object? Remove means through program we have to delete it. Because some object comes to you. In that 20 fields are there. 2 fields you don't want to use. Then you have to delete them. That object is not created by you. You are accessing an object. That object you need to manipulate. Then how do we delete any property, any key? For that we have to use a separate operator called delete. Delete, which property to delete, which key to delete? Product.price. Then it will delete price. Now is delete belonging to object? No. It is an explicit operator. It is a separate operator you have to use. So if you are using anything explicit, then obviously it will be slow. It will be slow in rendering. It will be slow in accessing. You see now, I will refresh here. The price is deleted. So it says price undefined. Why? Because we deleted price. There is no value in price. So how to delete any property? By using delete. How to verify? So whether that property available or not. We will use here another option, document.write. Is price a member of product? Is price a member of product? How to know? I'm using an expression. Here we are using, so property name. Property is price. Price in object name. Object name is product. This is in operator. This in operator is to verify whether that property is available in that object or not. Now, is this in operator a member of object? No. It is also an explicit operator. That means I save this now. I refresh here. You can see it says price is a member of product, false. Why? Because we deleted. Na? Suppose I am not deleting price. If I am not deleting price, then it will say available. That means it is true. It will return true or false. That means here we need to verify object. We need to manipulate object explicitly. Suppose I want to read all the members of this object. That means what properties are present in this object. Then what we have to do, we need explicit iterator. Explicit iterator means for where key in what is that object product. Then we have to print document.write key plus break. It is going to read every key and it is going to display. You see it, only name is there. Why? Because we deleted price now. If price is not deleted, then it will return both the keys. One is name, another one price. To read the keys, to read the values, you need explicit iterators. You need explicit iterators. This is not great. This is not great. So this is an example actually to that. That means what are the problems in object? Object contains keys only of what type? String. Object is slow. Why? Because it needs explicit iterators. It requires explicit operators to manipulate the object. For deleting, for finding anything, we need explicit, right? Another important is here there is no size. That means no size for object. That means we cannot put any restriction how many keys there can be there in an object. There is no restriction. There cannot be any size for object. How many keys are present, knowing it is difficult. Restricting the keys also is difficult. That means you should say this object should contain only 10 keys. There is no chance. There is no restriction for that. An object can contain any number of keys. There is no restriction, and it is also difficult to know how many keys are present. For example, if you are accessing data from some third-party database, suppose yesterday I showed you some NASA data. I showed you NASA API NASA. This is NASA's data. If I ask in this data, how many details are present for every object, then it is difficult. You have to read every property. How many properties are there? One is ID, another one is sol, another one is camera. This is not good for developer, because developer should need a simple technique to read all the keys. So which is not possible with object. These are all the drawbacks with the object. To overcome these drawbacks, to handle these issues, so JavaScript have introduced a concept called map. JavaScript introduced a concept called map to overcome these issues. Map is nothing but it is a key and value collection. Map is a key and value collection. What is advantage is key can be any type. Key can be any type. It can be number, it can be string, it can be boolean, any type of key. Key can be any type. Another important point is map provides implicit iterators. It provides implicit iterators. Internal iterators are present. Due to that, it is fast when compared to object. And very important, it provides implicit methods to manipulate. To manipulate, it will provide implicit methods. That means to delete, to find, to read. It will provide all implicit methods. So it is more faster when compared to object. But one of the problem is, drawback here is, What is the drawback is it is not for structured data. Map is not for structured data. If data need to be structured, because object is structured. How object is structured? All keys are string type. That means now you can easily handle them. Why you can easily handle them? Because all are same type. But one is string, one is number, one is boolean, then it is difficult to handle. If you are looking for fast access, then you go with map. If you are looking for structured access, then you go with the object. Majority data that comes from online APIs, that data we need structured way. That is the reason they all use which format? JSON. JSON. Yesterday we discussed JSON is JavaScript object notation, right? So map is used for key value collections where we don't need any structured data. We don't need any structured data, then we can go with maps. We can go with map. How we define map is simple actually. To define maps, it's a simple process. Here I copy this example already. This example I copied. For map, here, how do we create a map is where some topics is equal to new map. We are allocating memory for map. Now into the map, if I want to store, then map have some methods. Syntax, where some reference is equal to new map. Now it has some important methods. What are the methods provided by map? Due to these methods, it is very fast. The methods provided by map, it have a method called set, which is used to store some data into map. We have a method called get. It is used to read the data from map. And we have a method called keys. It will return all keys. We have a method called values. It will return all values. It have a method called entries. It will return both keys and values. We have a method called delete. It will delete a key. We have a method called has. It will find a key, whether a key available or not. We have a method called clear. It will delete all keys. Object don't have all these. So we have to manually manage them. We need so many explicit operations, but map provides all this. What is advantage of this? It is more faster. So it is more faster and easy to handle, but it is structureless. Majority, in some occasions, we don't worry about structure because we need to just handle few key and values. But in some situations, we are very concerned about structure. Then we will go with the object. It's not like map is best than object. It depends on the requirement. We use maps and we use objects. This is general thing. In JavaScript, you will learn. I just given an overview about that. How it works, simple point I will show here. We have to use topics.set. In that key, the key is any type, value is any type. Suppose key I am giving as HTML. What is value? Value is, it is a markup language. Like this we are defining. Suppose I say topics.set another key. Another key is number. In that we are storing some data. That means in that we are storing object. This object contains, so name is what? TV. It contains price. Price is some number. You can store any kind of data. It is structureless because now there is no standard format for keys. That means we are not sure in which key what is present. We are not sure about the type of the keys that we have. So this is a random structureless collection. And accessing is very easy. For example, I want to print document.write. I want to print here. I want to print, suppose I will use topics.get get one. That means key. Then automatically it will return the first value and show the first object, because it is getting one means object na. In one location, what is present? Object. In that object, what you want to access? Name. Then what we have to do? Dot name. I'm using like this, dot name. Then it will get that. Because at that position, we have a object. Object means we have to access with the keys and define them by using the keys. This is, you can access any reference. For example, if I am trying another one, BR. Let's access another one, document.write. We have topics.get. Get what? HTML. It is simple string type. Then it can return that and display. So we can easily manipulate. Suppose I want to delete any particular key. Just we have to use topics.delete. Delete what? One. That means it is deleted. Is delete explicit operator here? No. Delete is an implicit method. It is an implicit method. So it is more easy and more fast. Object doesn't have methods like this. We have to completely depend on explicit. So here we can simply handle that. I deleted number one, then it will not display. So because there is an error, because there is no such option available, right? You can see in the inspect, in the console, it will show the error. In the console, it is showing there is no name. There is no name because we deleted it, right? Now, if I remove that, so we remove that, now it is okay. It is available. So not only deleting, we can read all the keys. We can read all the values. Just simple. We have to use topic.keys. It will return all keys. We have topic.values. It will return all values. We have topic.what entries. It will return all entries. These all you will learn in general JavaScript, right? So I am not highlighting those methods here. I am just giving an overview of what is object and what is an map. Objects and maps. So we can use these objects and maps and you can handle them. This is simple. These are all general JavaScript concepts, but why I explained here, because in React we use them. In React we work with both objects and we work with the maps. In the modern scripting, we don't prefer sets. That is the reason we don't discuss them at all. We don't require them in the modern script, because in the modern, map is better than sets. Actually, in earlier versions, they introduced the concept of set, which is similar to an map, but map have more features when compared to set. So that is the reason we don't prefer set in modern, right? Majority you will be working with maps and objects. So we will not touch anything which is unnecessary as of now, right? So you need to understand two basic things. One is object, another one is map, right? How do we deal with object and map? Now here, one issue you will face is here. A simple note I will give you here is the major issues with the structured data in JavaScript is a unique identification. This is also a simple point to understand. Unique identification. The major issue with the structured data in JavaScript is unique identification. Actually, what is that means? I will tell you one simple scenario, right? One scenario we will discuss about that. How this type of problems are solved, right? Actual one scenario I will explain. Suppose here we have some database. Let's take one example here. We have some database. In the database, we have some users details. So we have user ID, we have name, we have some email, we have phone number. Like this, we have some details. Now, user related some data is stored in a database, and usually user related these details are present. We have user ID, so we have username, all these details are present, right? Now, what we want is we want to access these details and modify. We have to access the details and modify. So we are designing a form in the front end. We are creating, that means we are designing a form using any HTML front end, anything we will use. In the form, we will give name and email and a phone number. Why not ID? Because ID cannot be modified. That means, for example, you taken Google Gmail ID. Gmail ID, once you take an ID, you cannot modify ID. Am I right? Any ID once you taken, that ID cannot be modified. It is fixed now. You can modify, edit your names, you can edit your other details, but you cannot edit the ID. ID is the unique reference. And once ID is taken by a user, the same ID cannot be given to others. That is unique also. Now, when you submit this, how this data will be updated into the database, we need to submit these details. How this will be updated? Actually, in the background, we write logic like this. What is the logic is? So we say update table. So with fields, what are the fields? Name, some price, some email, rough I am writing, and some phone number, update these details. Okay. So update table with these details. Table name, so many will be there with these details, where user ID is equal to some ID name. ID name is John. Suppose user ID is here John, right? That means logic is written like this. Now what happens? You submitted this data. In that data, name is there, email is there, phone number is there, ID is not there. Then how it will work? The logic is expecting ID to submit, na? The logic is expecting ID to submit. Why you haven't shown ID here? I haven't shown ID here because ID will not be changed. So without showing ID, we need to submit ID in the backend, in the background. Understood? ID must be submitted, but ID should not be shown. ID must be submitted, but it should not be shown. Then to handle this technique, to handle this mechanism, generally what we do, to handle this technique in a HTML forms, suppose this is a form. This is a HTML form. Here I defined, so some details like username, and input type is equal to text. This is having a name called username. And another, we have email. So another email is defined, input type as a email, and name is email, like this. Now what happens is we need to submit this form. We will put a button submit. Now while submitting, we need to submit user ID also, but it should not be displayed. Then what I will do is I will create here a data term. In that we will put input type as hidden. There is an input type hidden. In this input type hidden, name we will give as user ID, and value of that user ID is suppose John underscore NIT. That is the user ID. Now what happens here, when you run this form, you will see that in that form there is no user ID. What user will submit? User will submit only user name. John is username, john@gmail.com is the email. And when user submits these two details, one unique reference is there in the backend. That reference is submitted. You see user ID also submitted. User ID also submitted, because without submitting user ID, update cannot happen. But user ID should not be shown. We should not show, but we should submit. And for this, we need a unique reference to configure. Every person, when he opens his details, a unique identification will be used in the backend. That unique identification is something like hidden, which will be used internally, but it is not shown. This is the mechanism we need to handle certain data. And for that, so in the modern JavaScript, they introduced a symbol. In the modern JavaScript, to handle this, they use this symbol. They introduced a symbol, and symbol is some kind of hidden. Hidden means when you try to read all keys in an object, when you are trying to read all the keys in an object, these symbols are ignored. That means they are not considered, but they will be used. They will be used, but they will not be displayed in iterations. You are trying to loop and read all the details, then it will ignore symbols. That means there is value. You can use the value, but you will not display in certain occasions, certain situations. That is the concept, major concept of symbol. That is only the thing you need to understand here. Nothing more than that. That means you need to configure a property in such a way that the property must have a value. The property must able to give access to that value, but that property must be hidden. Understood? That is possible by using symbol. And they made this symbol as primitive type. They made this symbol as primitive type. Primitive types are immutable types. We discussed mutable and immutable. Immutable means their structure cannot be changed. Symbol structure cannot be changed. It is fixed. It is fixed. So there is a lot about symbol to understand when you are dealing with browser level scripting, architectural level, design pattern level scripting. If you are doing, then you need this. But at current our React development level, symbol for simple unique identifications and hiding the data, that's enough. Actually architectural level, it has lot of work. But for example, for an experienced person, suppose if anybody says I have 10 years experience in React like technology, then we will ask him a question like, okay, if you have 10 years experience, then you know for in JavaScript, what it will do for where, suppose item of collection, That means it will read every item from the collection. After reading every item from the collection, it stores that item in this reference. After storing that item in that reference, you can use that item. After reading the first item, it will go to the second item. How it will verify the first item and second item are not same? If the second item is same as first item, that means same reference are there, then it will stop. If not, then it will continue. That means now the question here is how every item is uniquely identified in the background of for. Actually, this for internally uses a concept called symbol. The for of internally uses a concept called symbol. For in internally uses a concept called symbol. That means architecturally they are designed by using symbols. So symbol concept is not a new invention of JavaScript. It is a discovery. Discovery means people who are working at architecture level, they know that there is a symbol in JavaScript. Only general developers are not aware of that. Now in the latest versions, they made it available and visible to everybody. Right? That means without symbol, how for in, for off will work? There is no chance. There is no chance for in, for off cannot work without symbol. That means who is the architect behind this symbol? Then we are using for in, for off from several years. JavaScript is there. But internally it is using symbol. Now they made it possible for general developers to use it, manually configure it, but internally it is used. Like that, internally JavaScript have a lot of topics, so which are not generally publicly available for us to use. They are only at browser architecture level. Browser architecture level only use it. We don't use in general JavaScript applications. Okay, but such things are good. They made it possible. How they work, I will show you the point here. How do we configure the symbol? Concept understood, everyone? That means we need to have some unique data, right? That means now see here, I am creating a simple script. In this, I am creating a var product, or say some var user details. In the user details, it is an object. In this object, we have username. Username is string. And in this, we have email. Email is also a string. Some email we are defining like this. Now, in this, you need a user ID, which should be some kind of hidden. Understood? So if I write user ID, then it is visible. If I write user ID, then it is visible. Everybody can see, everybody can access it, right? Then how we can create a property which is not visible? Then what we are doing here is we are creating a constant. Constant means once configured, initialized. Initialization. So the constant, what is it? User ID. It is what type? It is a symbol. And what is the reference here? Description is what? User ID. That is how we configured user ID. And now we will put here in the square brace, what is it? User ID. And what is the value? Value, it will have John _ NIT. That is how we define. Now you can consider this as input type hidden. You can consider this as input type hidden. So we will try to read all the properties of this object. That means we will use a for var key in what is the collection user details. We are reading every key. document dot write, we are printing key. I will put a break. We are reading all the keys from user details, and we are trying to print those details. Username, email, ID is not there. Username and email, ID is not there. ID is not there, but ID is available. If you want, you can directly send it. You can directly send it. How? I will keep document dot write. Document dot write. What is it? User details of, what is it? User ID. We are defining user details dot user ID. That means we are printing that user details. It will come. It is going to use it. So the value is available. The value can be submitted. The value can be used. But the value is kept hidden. Kept hidden. So when you are looping, you are iterating, you are reading, it will be ignored. But it will be used. It will be used. That's what I showed you as input type hidden. This is the architectural concept behind symbol. Behind symbol. That is the point. This is enough. Nothing more to think about this symbol concept, because actually there is lot of concept to discuss about symbol. Lot of concept to discuss about symbol, but architecture level. So we are not at architecture level as of now. So we are just at developer level. You know the difference between a developer and an architect. What is the difference between a developer and architect? Here is in software technologies, architects build the library and developers will use the library and build an application. Application is built by using library. We use library. By using library, we build application. Who built? You are learning Java, you are learning .NET, you are learning PHP, Python. In that, some ready-made functions are there. That means, for example, just take an example in JavaScript, what you are doing. In JavaScript array, you are using map. What this map is doing, it is reading every value from array and it is presenting. How? There must be some background logic written for this. Who created this map for you? That is architect. To you. What you are doing, you are just using it. You are just using it. That means at architect level, you should know so many details about symbol. But at developer level, just this is enough. Right? That is the concept. So you don't need to go that much in depth about the concept, because that is not required also for at this stage, right? This is an example. So what is symbol? So technically it is, symbol is a what type? Primitive type. Symbol is a primitive type. So primitive type means it is what type? It is immutable type. Immutable type means it cannot change. It cannot change. And symbol, it is hidden. It is hidden from iterators. It is hidden from iterators. And actually it is implicitly used for iterators. It is hidden from iterators. It is internally used by iterators. So that is a simple point. So I will just give an simple example syntax here. Is a constant. We have some reference is equal to symbol. We have to define a symbol and description. So just we have to define in this way. And wherever you want to apply, we can use the reference and equal to whatever value you want, you can pass into this. Am I right? That is how we do. That's just a basic syntax, how we can define that. So is a symbol configuring a property? Yes, it is configuring a property. In that property, there is some value also. We can access that value also, but it is not every time. It is ignored in iterations. iterations. That is important. This is one small example to understand. I will copy this example and I will define that here. This is example. So we have primitive and non-primitive types. How do we deal with the primitive and non-primitive types? One more basic thing you should know is because working with all data types, you need to be very perfect, right? In JavaScript. Another important, I hope you already learned in JavaScript, date type. That means how to store date, how to handle the dates, because data means lot of strings, numbers, booleans. Date type also will be there. Suppose departure date, arrival date, some manufacture date, everything. Now the question in JavaScript, how dates are stored and how dates are accessed. You learned already in JavaScript, huh? How dates are stored. Dates are defined by using, so a date is defined by using date constructor, right? So syntactically, how you define, so where MFD, manufactured, is new date. Here we have to define year, so we have to define month and day. Format must be year, month, day. After that, space, hours, so minutes and seconds and dot milliseconds. That is the format how to store the dates in JavaScript. The date and time values in JavaScript are stored in this way. So generally, if you want to store some date, access the date and use the date in JavaScript, this is how we need to do. For example, here I will show you simple. Suppose we are defining, here we are defining where product is equal to object. In this we have name is TV, and manufactured, when it is manufactured. Suppose I am writing the date like this. Suppose I define some 2010-2022. This is invalid. It is not considered as date and it will not be used as date. No chance. So JavaScript will not allow to handle dates in this way. So if you want to configure date, you want to use the date in JavaScript, then you have to configure how, by using new date constructor. In that, if you leave it like this, default current date and time will load. That means the empty date constructor is going to load the current date and time, whatever current date and time is there. If you want any specific date and time, you have to put in a quote. In that format also important. It should be year, month, day only. Any another format, invalid. So year, so month and day, like this I define. Now if I want time, space, then time is defined with hours. Hours I am defining, suppose 20 colon hours, minutes, and we have to define seconds, some 20, 40 and some seconds. Seconds is suppose 23, and milliseconds are defined with dot, and it will be up to 199 milliseconds. So you know how we configure the date generally in JavaScript. This is how we define the date. So any another way you write the dates, they are invalid in JavaScript. So as a developer, you should know how do we manage the dates and handle, because everywhere dates are mandatory. Now this is the way how you store the date. How we can access the date? To access the date, we have date methods. So we have date methods, get hours, we have get minutes, we have get seconds, we have get milliseconds. So we have get date, we have get day, So we have get month and we have get full year, full year. These are all date related get methods. Similarly, you have set methods also. Set hours, set minutes, all are same. Set day, set month, set year. Only here, what is the point is date is nothing but it will return the date number. Date number means suppose today is 22. So day means it will return the weekday number. Weekday number means 0 is equal to Sunday. It will return weekday number. Month means it will return month number. Month number starts with 0 means January. Starts with January. Full year means year. Here the problem is it will return in the format of numbers. And again, these numbers need to be converted and transformed into strings. For that, we need a lot of technique also to display the dates. You can use this option. We have two local date string. We can also use two local time string. We can try this to access the date, time, and display them. So these are all the important things you need to know, and actually you will learn all this in JavaScript, right? Here I just given an overview of how to deal with date, right? So we will run here. Let's see document.write. I am writing here. So name. The product name is, we have to access product.name. And next line, I'm accessing manufactured. Manufactured, I am defining product.mfd. This is going to display the manufactured date in this way. This is a lengthy format of displaying the date. Now, how do we control this? This is a lengthy format of displaying the date. Now, how do we control this? Means, how do we display in a short form, right? Then what you have to do, use these methods. Manufactured.to local date string. To local date string, it will return in this way. No, you want weekday, you want month name, you want year, then you have to write a lengthy logic. You need to write a lengthy logic, because actually, if I use those methods I showed you, like get date, get day, date is okay. Get date means it will return what is that date, 29th. Now I am using, so here I will give manufactured, suppose I will give date, okay. Another one, day, day is weekday. How to get the weekday? Product day. And in the next line, I'm using, in the next line, I'm using month. So how do we get the month? So product dot manufacture dot get a month. Get month, we are defining like this. So get day, get month, and all these. So we have year. Year means, so product dot manufacture dot get full year. Full year. Now you can see it is going to display all those details, but not satisfying. Because date is okay, but day is a number, month is a number. Then we need to implement our techniques of arrays. For example, see, we will create an weekdays array. Weekdays array. In that, first value is Sunday. Second value is Monday. Like this. Like this, we define Tuesday. So you can write full. I am writing just short. Wednesday, Thursday. So, and we have Friday. So, and we have like Saturday, like this. We are maintaining all the weekdays in a separate array. And what this get day is returning? Get day is returning number. This number we will pass into weekdays array. Into weekdays array, we will pass that number. Then it will get us that number Saturday and show. That is how we need to implement actually. Similarly, we need to create another array for what? Months. Months. So it starts with Jan and February and March. Everything you have to write in order. April, so May, so June, like this. If anything is missing and the date you are using, then it will return undefined, right? July, August, right? September, like this. And some October. Okay. So October, so November and December. Okay, like this I'm giving. Okay, now you see this is month. Month is returning month number. Then we will pass this into which array? Months. Into months array, we will pass that number. It is going to return the month. And if I change the date, automatically these will change. Suppose I am changing the date as month is 12 and day is 22. Then it is going to display that here. 22 Thursday, December 2022. So this is how it is going to manage the dates. This is all JavaScript date handling. So a developer must able to handle all the types of data. Numbers, strings, booleans, null, undefined, symbol, array, object, map, set, another one, date, right? And JavaScript in the front end have one more type to handle. Developers have to handle one more type. There is one more data type, one more type actually. The type is, we have regular expression type, which is very famous. You must able to handle regular expression type also. Regular expression type is used in validations and it is mandatory to handle this. Regular expression type is also important. How do we write a regular expression? How do we verify the regular expression? Regular expression types. How do we handle regular expressions and validate regular expressions? I will show you one point here. The point is, you know what is regular expression? Regular expression is nothing but it defines a pattern to validate the input value. It defines a pattern to validate input value. And you know, patterns are built by using meta characters and quantifiers. By using meta characters and quantifiers, we build pattern. And JavaScript regular expression is defined using double slash. Generally in HTML, regular expression is defined by using string type. In HTML, regular expression is string type. But in JavaScript, it is in double slash. Type you should know. For example, see here, suppose you are using a form and in this form you have username and there is a text box, input type text, and there is a submit button. And here this text box is having a name, username. It should be 4 to 15 characters uppercase letter only. 4 to 15 characters uppercase letter only. Then in HTML we can write a pattern. In the pattern is written in a string form. We will put square brace a-z. This indicates only uppercase. 4,15, that is the range. This is how regular expressions are generally written in HTML. HTML regular expressions are written as string. And you can see now it is going to validate that. I entered some name and say submit. It says please match. Because it is expecting only uppercase letters. So uppercase letters I entered, still not satisfied because minimum 3. I entered minimum 3 characters, then submit, then it works. But regular expressions in JavaScript are handled by using double slash, not like this. Means not like string. Why? Because JavaScript can change regular expression. Suppose you ask enter mobile number. That mobile number have a format. That format must change according to country. If user selects India, then it should verify Indian format of mobile. If user selects UK, it should verify UK format of mobile. That means the pattern is not standard. Pattern can change. Then JavaScript comes to picture. Then JavaScript, how patterns are written? Actually, suppose we are writing here where, suppose we are defining, here just we are using some mobile. Okay. And is equal to, I will put a prompt and I will say enter mobile. Enter mobile. And here we will put a default value UK mobile format. Suppose UK mobile format is defined, right? Now it is asking here. So it is asking here enter mobile UK mobile format. And if they entered in UK format, it should accept, otherwise it should reject. Then how do we verify that? That means we need to write a regular expression. How to write regular expression? Regular expressions are written in double slash. In double slash. And how to write UK format of pattern? Suppose you see any, this is US mobile phone number format. You see, suppose I am having different phone number formats. Yeah, in the phone number format, suppose this is United Kingdom phone number format. That means it should start with +44 in a parenthesis, +44. After that, in a parenthesis, there must be 2-digit number, any 2-digit number. After that, space and 4-digit number, then space and 4-digit number. Anything other than that, it should not allow. Anything other than that, it should not allow. Then developers need to write pattern for this. Pattern for this. How do we write the pattern? Let's see. I am writing the regular expression. Plus symbol means slash plus. Slash plus. After that, so after that, where is it? Yeah, after that, open parenthesis, right? So then we have to use slash open parenthesis. After that, after open parenthesis, 2-digit number. 2-digit number means we have to define 0-9. How many digits? 2. After that, again close parenthesis. That is how we write. Slash close parenthesis. After that, again parenthesis, open. Again 0-9. How many digits? 2 digits. And very important, this is not 2 digits. Here in the parenthesis, we will write 4 is compulsory. That means it should start with plus, and 4 is compulsory, mandatory. That is the area code for that. Okay. After that, it can have a 2-digit number. Again, open parenthesis. So close parenthesis. After 2-digit number, slash yes means space. After space, then 0-9. This indicates 4 digits number. After that, slash yes, again 0-9. 0-9 number. Again, how many? 4 digits. That is how we write. That is how we write a pattern, and pattern must be enclosed in double slash. in JavaScript. If I have to write this pattern in HTML, double quotes, string. But in JavaScript, we have to write. And how do we verify whether what we entered is matching with this regular expression or not? We will write a condition. If mobile dot match, if mobile is matching with what regular expression, if mobile is matching with regular expression, then we will put document dot write. So suppose SMS OTP, some OTP sent to your mobile. That message we will give, OTP sent to your mobile. Otherwise, what we will say, document dot write, else we will say invalid mobile. So UK format is what I will copy this format and I will just keep it for help. Okay. That is what it should display. That means now what user have to do, I will refresh this now and it is asking enter mobile. I'm using here plus in the parenthesis what 44 after this. So in parenthesis 2-digit number, after that space, right? After that space and space 1, 2, 3, 4. So after that space again 4, 5, 6, 3, 4 digits number and click on OK, OTP sent. If anything is not according to that, suppose I entered some plus 919876543210 Indian format, 10-digit number, then OK, then it says invalid. UK format is this, you need to send in this format on. This is validations. These are very important. So, and regular expressions will play the key role here. And how JavaScript writes regular expressions and verifies. For that, we have to use patterns. Patterns are defined by using meta characters and quantifiers. In HTML, they are written in double quotes. In JavaScript, they are written in slash. This is how we have to configure. This is regular expression type. This is an example for regular expression type, right? These are all the different data types as a developer you need to deal. Actually, these are all concept of general JavaScript. Only one additional advanced concepts are map and symbol that I explained you. These all you will generally learn in general JavaScript. How do we write patterns, verify the patterns and all. But just I given a fast overview on this so that you will get a complete overview idea. So these are all JavaScript data types. Right now we will go into operators, statements, functions, and OOP concepts. I will just give a brush up of all those concepts. Then we will go into React after that, right? These are all JavaScript only, right? For React people, we need JavaScript knowledge. That is the reason people who already learned JavaScript, they are directly suitable. If not, then just I am giving overview, but later you have to learn detailed JavaScript. Understood? Right? Without that, you can't handle React or React interviews or anything. Huh? So then in tomorrow session, we will discuss about operators, statements and all. Tomorrow we will continue. Okay, right. This all I will upload into Classroom. You practice them, right?